and welcome. This is Eclectic Kepli, where we dive into the treasure trove of fantastical media, and today we are going to be watching The Hobbit 1977 for the very first time. I did a reaction to The Lord of the Rings 1978, and it was a disaster. So of course I also had to subject myself to this cinematic masterpiece. Of course I don't know if this one is going to be the same level of awful that the Lord of the Rings 1978 was. I've heard this one is supposed to be not as bad, so we'll see how this goes. I don't have very high expectations, which means that it can't possibly be worse than me expecting it to be disastrous. So let's just jump right in and watch The Hobbit 1977. Okay, so we're gonna start and stop and I'm gonna have commentary throughout, but already this is so much better. It's not the like half live action rotoscope like nonsense that the first one was. This is just fully animated. The narrator sounds good so far. I like the animation already looks better being from a year earlier. It is a different director and artist and all of that, so it does make sense, but already like this is so much more beautiful. Okay, this is, I had no expectations, and I know that we're literally only 36 seconds in and things could go disastrously wrong from here. However, this is already so much better. This is beautiful. This is giving more stylistic Alan Lee drawings. Like, it just feels more like whimsical and fantastical, and yeah, the sound is already better. The narrator is better. The music sounds kind of Princess Bride-y. I'm definitely not going to be able to have the audio in this for copyright, but it's already giving. 36, oh, and this one's only 1 hour. This is only an hour and a half long, whereas The Lord of the Rings was like 2 hours and 13 minutes. This is already better. It's so pretty. It just feels so pretty. That's an interesting... Oh, wait a second. Okay, wait a second. Let's just hold on. The Hobbit hole door is really interesting. That is giving Eye of Sauron just a little bit. Not actually, because it's not like a flaming crazy thing, but it's just, it's giving reminiscent of like somebody's watching. I think that's really interesting because no one is watching, so why does it look like an eye? This is The Hobbit, not The Lord of the Rings. That's so interesting. But it is, it's giving eye. It's an interesting choice. It also, they're using Tolkien's words. This is, okay, I'm gonna be insufferable about this also, but I feel like this is gonna be in a better way than, or a more positive commentary than like what The Lord of the Rings was, because they're using Tolkien's words, like they're describing the Hobbit hole, like how he wrote, so the narration is so much better. I love this. Already is so much nicer. I feel like I'm not gonna like Bilbo's appearance, but that's fine because the background, like the art as a whole, is really beautiful and I'm liking that. Okay, this is very stylistic and it's probably of its era more so than anything. He's not horrendous. This is not like how they animated Samwise Gamgee in 1978 Lord of the Rings. Samwise Gamgee was like offensively bad. This is not offensively bad. This animation is just like, I think I have to kind of remove myself from that because I do have a bias for like more modern animation styles because of exposure. This is not bad. It's not my preference, but this is nowhere near as bad as what the Hobbits looked like in the Lord of the Rings 1978. So we're already starting off so much better. We're a minute in. I have more hope now for this one, so I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy Lord of the Rings content. So I'm starting to get hopeful, and that's scaring me a little bit. I don't want it to go sideways. Ugh. I'm scared for what Gollum looks like. That's going to be the big one, I think. Oh my gosh, their pipes are ridiculous. Why is his pipe the size of his body? Okay, hi Gandalf. That was so kind of aggressive. He just like popped out from behind a tree. Okay, if this Gandalf is kind of like the 1978 Gandalf where he's just like theatrical and grand, I'll probably be okay with that, because that was one of the only very few upsides of the 1978 Lord of the Rings, was Gandalf was theatrical and ridiculous, and it was quite fantastic. So, okay. This is not my Bilbo. This is not Ian Holmes. I don't know. His voice just sounds too much like a man to me, and like he is a man, but he just sounds like a guy, if that makes sense. Whereas like Ian Holmes made him sound whimsical and like joyful, and he had this like little giggle when he was like flipping the ring in the air after the long-awaited party. So like he made it whimsical, whereas this guy just sounds like a dude. And Gandalf is not sounding so promising, but we'll see how he takes it. He's not doing like grand theatrical, and he's no Ian McKellen. But I mean, again, these are biases. But yeah, I would have preferred a little bit more whimsy to their voices rather than just sounding like two guys. Holy shit. Why is he trying to scare Bilbo into this adventure? That's so aggressive. Gandalf can be aggressive sometimes, but that was a lot. I can see this one being a little bit more for kids. The animation style and the story of The Hobbit is a little bit more like younger people can appreciate it a little bit more, because it is like a standalone, like just concise fantasy adventure story. So I could see this being like enjoyed by everyone, whereas the Lord of the Rings 1978 was not enjoyable by anyone because it was meant for no one and it was a disaster. But why is Gandalf being scary? I don't like that. That's too much. Oh, they're doing the dwarf song. Like the through dungeons deep and caverns that we must await till break of day. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic, and it doesn't like that sounds really good. Wow, that's so fun. This is already so much more fun. Oh, okay, so they're just like, oh, they're really speedrunning this little bit. Okay, I'll get it out of the way. The dwarves look not good. Just in that little snippet. This is not very pleasant to look at, but maybe that was like the point. They're making them look more like fantasy creatures rather than like a race of people, maybe? I don't know. We'll keep looking, but they look like gnomes, not like dwarves. They really, like, the stylistic choices is they don't really look different from hobbits other than just the facial hair. And we've only seen one hobbit thus far, so who knows, but like, yeah, I'm not really here for the dwarves. They don't look that great. I love how they've added the songs. That is fantastic. That makes me so happy. And they kind of sounds like the Peter Jackson version of The Hobbit took a little bit of like the note tones from this. I love that they have the songs. This is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is 100 times better than The Lord of the Rings 1978. The pacing is a little bit weird though, because it's just going very quickly. Like there's not been any like establishing, so it's just kind of like they're jumping right in, which, yeah, if this was like something intended for kids, then I can see that, because, you know, you want to keep them engaged, give them songs, fast, like, you know, animation, like quick storytelling. It's not my preference, But, you know, so far, this is not bad. The music, seriously, is so... What a surprising delight. You know what's really funny and interesting within this, just so far, is that they're asserting Bilbo to be the burglar, and I can't... Oh my gosh, I haven't read the Hobbit book in such a long time, I can't remember. But they're, like, pushing him into it rather than, like, asking. Like, it's a... like, because Gandalf, like, comes and is like, hey, and then, like, does, like, a vibe check on Bilbo, and then lets the dwarves know to come and join him at his house, rather than just, like, I feel like we've missed some context here in terms of, like, how did Gandalf decide to come to Bilbo's house? How did the dwarves know to come to Bilbo's house also? And how did we get here where Bilbo's being, like, thrust into this story without any agency and being told, okay, you're the burglar, or treasure hunter if you prefer that title, but it's just kind of taking away his agency and choices right now. It's not great. Especially if he's our, like, POV character, then him having things only happen to him without him making choices about it. It's not the best storytelling, but, you know, we continue. They're like, oh, so we're going on our quest. Everybody knows the mission, right? And Bilbo's like, I don't. Obviously he doesn't. That's crazy. This is crazy. Okay, it's kind of funny a little bit with how absurd it is. Okay, like, my previous statements still stand in terms of it's not very good storytelling not having a character have agency when it's supposed to be your POV character. But it's kind of funny that he's just being told, like, okay, yeah, you're expected to know, like, you've just been dropped into this improv game. Catch up and be ready to go. Like, it's kind of funny. Okay, seriously, the art style is, like, really beautiful. Again, not really the characters I'm not super vibing with. It feels like rather than making, like, a race of people, they've made little, like, creature people. Like, it's giving, like, odd gnome vibes, not, like, boisterous dwarf. Yeah, I'm not really here for the people animation choices. Even Gandalf's, like, a little bit odd, and not in, like, a fun, interesting way. He's just kind of, like, I don't know. But, like, this is beautiful, beautiful backgrounds, beautiful animation. In terms of the set, and their landscape art is just stunning. Like, I'm really enjoying the visuals. But it's nice, at least they're giving Bilbo a little bit of backstory now. Okay, also, I'm really liking this narrator. Like, this narrator guy, first, I like the voice. Like, his voice sounds like fantastical narrator, which is fun. But also it's kind of got, like, a lilting rhyme scheme almost vibe. Like, not quite like an iambic pentameter kind of energy, but it sounds rhythmic. I'm liking the narrator's voice. Nothing really deep to say about this. I just wanted to stop on the jewelry because I think it looks beautiful. And again, I'm really, like, the objects and the landscapes. Such good art style. Like, the art style for everything other than the people so far is stunning. And on that note, though, I am scared to see Gollum. I am scared to see the spiders. And I'm apprehensive about seeing the elves. So, I don't know. I hope Smaug looks good. Oh my god, his little, like, squeal and faint. He's like, you want me to go and get gold back from a dragon? Okay, that was just really funny. That was kind of dumb. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't like that Bilbo's not getting a choice. So, it's not cute for him to be like, these people are just dropping on his doorstep and forcing him to go. Like, I prefer how Peter Jackson does that, at least, in terms of, like, they let him choose, because obviously that's proper storytelling. is giving the character agency so that they can actually be a participating party in their own story. Whereas, like, Gandalf speaking for Bilbo is kind of... I don't like it. It feels not nice. Oh, this is so interesting. They're doing the opening credits kind of thing in, like, 8 minutes in. So that was kind of like a prologue? I mean, that was actually a good prologue if that was a prologue. It didn't feel prologue-y. It felt just good, like, opening story. But that's kind of crazy. Bestie was having a nice nap, having a good sleep, and these dwarves and Gandalf woke up pre-dawn, got ready, let Bilbo sleep, even though they're trying to, like, get him to come. Now he feels obligated because he signed a contract, even though he was coerced into signing this contract. And then they didn't even wake him up, and they literally all got saddled, and now he's, like, gonna have to rush and not even, like, is he even packed? I would burn the contract. That's crazy that they didn't even, like, give him a little, hey Bilbo, this is your, like, morning wake up call, we're leaving in, like, 5 minutes, you know, like, that's disrespectful. Oh, he doesn't even get to pack. He didn't even get to get ready. He literally that's insane. That's crazy. Bestie woke up, was like, oh, they're gone, okay, gets dressed, walks outside, doesn't even have a backpack, has no supplies. Gandalf picks him up, puts him on his horse, and, like, okay, we're going, never mind, like, say goodbye to your home, maybe forever. That's insane. As this, like, calming ballad is going on about, like, oh, you have to leave your house to go on adventures, like, yes, but consensual adventures, enthusiastic preparation for these adventures, not being dragged on a horse and coerced into signing a contract. That's crazy. Insane. Literally. And now he's like, no hat, no stick, no pipe. Bestie didn't get to pack. He was coerced into going on this quest that he doesn't even want to be on, and he doesn't even have his pipe that's the size of his body. How is he gonna have his halfling leave? This is disrespectful. Shame on all of their houses. Not even a pocket handkerchief. He can't survive without his pocket handkerchief. Oh, and now apparently Gandalf can teleport. Just like, poof. Okay. Bestie was coerced into going on an adventure to be a burglar, and Gandalf's coming up to him as he's, like, got no hat and no handkerchief and no food and no all of his belongings, no books, and is like, hey, stop being so upset. Stop being a Debbie Downer, Bilbo. Think of happy things that make you happy. And he's literally thinking about the things that he left at home that he didn't get to pack because they didn't give him enough of a warning to do a wake-up call. This is cruel. Justice for Bilbo. Insane. I kind of don't mind the trolls' design here, because it kind of feels like Under the Bridge trolls rather than, like, the mountain trolls, and I think that's just, like, a stylistic choice rather than, like, there's no, like, right or wrong in that kind of regard. So, yeah, tusks on the trolls. I like it. Picasso. And now they're trying to get him to go steal some food because they didn't let him pack his handkerchief and his backpack and his pipe, and they're like, now go steal some food for it. That's insane. This is just... Poor Bilbo. He's not even a burglar. He's just a simple hobbit. Now he's having to think about bacon and eggs in his fireplace to try and calm down. His cortisol levels are probably shot through the roof. He's not going to be able to sleep. He's going to have to go to therapy. And they're just making him go steal things. Poor Justice for Bilbo. This is just rude. Okay, I know that he literally just told them to run away and save themselves. But these guys forced this man to come with them on this journey to go and get back their gold, not their home. Not their home. Gandalf was very specific when Bilbo was like, oh, my quest is to come and, like, steal back their gold for them. Yes, not their home. It's about the gold in this one. And these guys just ran away and let Bilbo be eaten by trolls. Get better, friends. They deserve this. They tried to run away. They coerced Bilbo into joining their grand schemes to get rich, and now they're in bags. That's called instant karma. He likes his roll and wiggling. It's giving Gollum and the fish. What is Gandalf's magic? When did he, like, yes, he's a wizard, but, like, when was his powers established? Or I guess they're just like, oh, he's a wizard. He could do literally anything and everything. Okay, he can look like a tree. But then okay, if they're gonna make him, like, unlimited power, then, like, why doesn't he just go take back the mountain? See, you gotta make it make sense. This is just a personal preference thing on Gandalf's design here. I don't like that he's not got, like, a real hat. Like, this looks like a hood on a cloak rather than, like, his wizard hat. And I think that's a sorely missed opportunity to give him his wizard hat. But that's just, like, a preference. Okay, I like that. Bilbo is so cute, and I just feel bad for him. But he just, like, I don't know, I guess at least he's kind of going along with it. But I still don't like how they're treating him. But he's just so cute. This feels so much more like Gandalf manipulating this whole thing. I don't really understand why it's made to be that Gandalf is, like, manipulating the quest. Because he withheld the map of the mountain from Thorin until just now because he was like, I'm gonna decide when you deserve to get your, like, family's, I guess, estate plan? I don't know. Or the estate schematics? What are they called? The blueprints? I don't know. But anyways, I don't like this. I don't like this version of Gandalf. He feels like he's too questionable, and, like, what is he manipulating them to, like, for? Like, they have their goal. They want to go home. Well, in this, it's very focused on the gold, but, like, he wouldn't have to, I don't know. I don't know why he's being, like, manipulative. Okay, do you want to note, though? I love this map. This is so nice. It's got all of the components taken straight from the book. It's beautiful. I love it. Very nice. Yeah, I don't understand what Gandalf's deal is here in terms of, like, if the story is supposed to be about Bilbo, then, in that regard, like, it's just feeling a little bit disjointed in the sense of, like, why did he withhold the access to the dwarves getting home? Was it just for Bilbo to be the burglar in their company? Then, like, why did he choose Bilbo specifically? Like, this is just, the pacing is a little bit weird without explanation for the choices that are being made. So it's kind of not great. Okay, but look at how beautiful. The sun, like the sunset, the landscape. Make this a D&D map. I want to play on it. That was supposed to be their version of Inlabdris. That was not my Rivendell. Okay, yes, beautiful, like, backdrop art. That's not my Rivendell. Questionable. But, okay, actually, okay. Yes, not my Imladris. However, they didn't go there. They just, like, passed it by. Well, but then why would you include it at all? There's no point. Like, they're doing, like, montage-y things. They're jumping through it. Like, why even have it be mentioned? Questionable choices. If it's not going to be important, don't bring it up and just move along. I also think it's very interesting that they have so much music playing over their like journeying. It's almost, I don't know. It's an interesting choice to have like songs play over, not just like orchestral music. It's full songs. It's kind of interesting. Gandalf literally just said they're not going to go. Did I miss that? Was that me? They literally said they were not going to go to Rivendell. They didn't have time. Is that me? He literally just said, okay, so that wasn't even like fully Rivendell. That was a cabin in the woods, okay? And then like Bilbo's like, oh my gosh, this is enchanting. And then Gandalf's like, no, but we must go on our way because we don't have time. Like we're not stopping, Bilbo. Like, come on. And then Bilbo's like, oh, that's too bad. And then what? Did they like... Okay, that's so confusing. I don't understand what happened there. I don't understand what happened there. Also, this right now looks very like stars are floating around Elrond's head. Looking very space alienish, questionable. They literally said they weren't going to Rivendell and now they're at Rivendell. Okay. Why does he have stars floating around his head? Why does he kind of look like the evil wizard from the Swan Princess 2? I don't know his name. I don't know. Anyways, he's giving and it's kind of... I don't know. Oh, I don't like it. I will say, though, at least he looks like a magical creature. Whereas in The Lord of the Rings, 1978, they all looked like just guys. At least he has pointed elf ears here. So I will give it that. That is my concession of kind words on his design. He doesn't just look like a man, but I'm displeased. He looks so weird. Why is there like glowing pieces? I mean, you know what? The animation doesn't serve him here. I could maybe appreciate a glowing circlet, but it looks not great. Okay, I do actually really like that they're taking dialogue from the book. The whole speech that he just gave about the moon, like the letters that are only visible by moonlight, that's exactly word for word the book. It feels like what they're doing is kind of doing a one-for-one for the most part. They're speeding it up. The pacing is just wild, but it feels like their intention is to like make it book oriented, which is nice, and I appreciate that component. Oh, I'm so two-minded about the music. Some of it is a little bit too much, but I love that they're like adding the real songs that Tolkien wrote and is in the Hobbit book into this. It was just weird that it was like drum riff, guitar, energy for the goblins singing, but like, oh, I appreciate that. I like that they're adding Tolkien stuff. Okay, actually though, that kind of slapped. I liked it. Down in Goblin Town, 1978 Hobbit. Check it out. It's good. It's fun. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun. Oh, why do they have two esophaguses? Am I crazy? They look like they have two esophaguses. Oh, they just have very pronounced uvula. Okay, that was weird. My bad. That's okay. No, they 100% had two esophaguses. Okay, well, anyways. Interesting stylistic choices. Yeah, there's a divide. Okay, I like the goblins. I think it's weird that they have two esophaguses, but as a whole, I think that they're a cool design. They're fun. They look fantasy creature, which is the point, and good stylistic choices. Just odd stylistic choices, but They're kind of fun. Okay. That's nightmare fuel. This was probably for children. This is spooky. I don't like it. But wow, no, actually, okay, I don't like it, but I like it. Like, it's cool. It looks like a creepy, gross villain guy. Like, this is a cool style for these goblins. That's so interesting, but it's very uncomfortable. I don't like them. It's so interesting. Why is Gandalf Deus Ex Machinaing them, like, so much? It just feels like Bilbo has no agency, and the dwarves have some agency in the sense that they are, like, choosing that they wanted to go and, like, get their gold back, they want to go back home, they want to do all this stuff, but Gandalf feels like he's the driving force, like, he's, like, running the show, and it feels like an odd choice to have Gandalf be the one who's running the show. Who's the protagonist? Like, Bilbo is supposed to be our POV character. Well, he's supposed to be our POV character, but he's not really getting to be. I don't know. It feels weird that Gandalf's doing this much in this way. That was giving Hades falling into the river Styx at the end of Hercules, the Disney movie. Did he like get flushed into the underworld? What happened there? I don't know. Weird. Very weird. Okay, we're back to the rock band vibes here. Okay. Literally poor Bilbo. Like, he didn't even have a choice, and now he's just fallen down a hole. I'm gonna let it play for a second so I can get a full body shot. Why is he kind of a frog? But also kind of like the energy of those flying squirrels? Why is his voice just kind of a dude? Like, what's going on here? He's supposed, like, the goblins were like creatures, right? And like, okay, this is a choice to have Gollum look like this. I don't think it was the right choice, but it is a choice, and it is just, there's nothing like inherently wrong with him, but it's not great. But why is his voice just a dude? Like, okay, I guess they're trying to, he's got a little bit of like a vocal fry growl kind of thing. Why does he also hold on, why does everybody have two esophaguses? Why are all these creatures two esophagi, two stomachs? What's going on here? I only assume they are leading to different places, or why do you have two different esophaguses? This is crazy. I don't like him. What a mess. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, see, they do inanimate objects and backgrounds very well. That is very pretty. Yeah, Bilbo, if you ever get home, what a mess. I think Gollum is supposed to be blind here, because he's not reacting to the light. He's only really reacting to sound. He couldn't, like, find the... this is interesting. I can't tell if he's blind, but I think he might be blind. This is very interesting. He literally... he's doing the Gollum, Gollum, Gollum. It sounds like a frog croaking. It doesn't... it's just awkward. It's just odd. Dude, I think in this iteration he's blind. That's such an interesting choice. I guess it kind of... well, if you're not factoring in, like, his history, like, where Gollum came from, I guess you could, like... he's, like... a blind mole, you know, like in living in the darkness. Like, sure, why not? That's kind of a I don't mind that as a choice. Oh my gosh. Bilbo's so funny. Gollum's literally like, they're doing the riddles in the dark, and Gollum's like, if you don't answer, I will eat you. And Bilbo's just like, oh my goodness. Just like, oh, see, this is why I feel so bad for this Bilbo, because he has no agency, and he's just kind of like, things are just happening to him, and he's not really, I don't know, taking control of his situation. Bilbo, you gotta grow up. I know it wasn't his choice to go on this adventure, but, you know, he's gotta, like, take initiative. So they just did one riddle each, and now they're breaking into a musical number, rather than continuing focusing on the story. I love musicals and musical numbers and well-placed, jaunty tune, you know? But not in the middle of an important plot moment or like story beat moment. Let's focus, please. Or are they doing like a transition to move back to the dwarves perspective? Because that feels very... Are they not gonna like finish with Bilbo and then show Bilbo leaving? Like what is... I don't understand what this choice is. Or are they just time skipping? So they just wanted to skip? They just wanted to skip the riddles? Like, there's only like 3 of them. Like, what is... what happened? Why did we jump? I don't understand why they're like not focusing on the characters who are talking still right now, and they're like moving about the cave rather than focusing on what's happening. It's giving... That was the, like, answer to his demise. Like, he's reacting as if Bilbo guessing the riddle correctly is killing him. This is crazy. Look at his eyes, oh my gosh. I think the other problem with Gollum's voice right now is that it's rasping, vocal fry, but not being picked up by the recording booth microphone very well, so it's very hard to understand what he's saying. All of the other characters you can hear super clearly and well, so it has to just be like this guy's vocal choices and how he was doing his recording sessions. It's unfortunate. Even Gollum's coloring looks weird. I don't know why they did this to him. It's very, very odd. For anyone who's seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, he's kind of giving the dog girl merge. I can't remember her name. It's been so long since I've watched that also, but it's kind of giving... I hate it. I hate him now. I don't know why they do, like, really creepy shots like that. Feels unnecessary. They also didn't even come to, like, look for him. They just were like, oh, that's fine. He'll make his way back to us. Whatever. It's fine. It's crazy. These are not his friends. His story has the ring of truth. Yes, it rings true. Okay, Gandalf. Okay, a little bit too on the head there. But then if Gandalf knows that the ring is the ring, and if he's like, ooh, you have a ring of power, and he's just like, yeah, okay, let's move on. Haha, I see, I get it, but like, we're just gonna move on. Like, Gandalf. He's more serious about it than that. Bilbo's not equipped to deal with this nonsense. And they've thrown him in, and he's just, like, been lucky, but he needs some help. Give him a hand. I don't understand. These are crazy. Force him to come on a quest, and then, like, make him suffer the whole time. Insane. That's so rude. It's giving... It's giving the Pokemon Indigo League, like, first intro where, like, Pidgeotto is carrying Pikachu. And, like, oh my god, I'm gonna put a picture on screen right now, but this is just giving the Pokemon anime intro, and I think it's quite funny. It just gave me a chuckle. Gandalf is so unhinged. Gandalf is so unhinged. He's like, the dwarves are like, wait, Gandalf, come into this spider-infested forest and protect us and do your job as, like, our, like, guide and support system. And he's like, no, I'm already late to my other appointment because of you guys. Like, I've been going along. But he's literally the instigator of all of this nonsense. So what is he so unhinged? Oh my god. And then he's like, oh, it's okay. This little hobbit who has no experience in the world outside of his own little, like, home, which, like, no shame on Bilbo. Enjoy your cottagecore, hobbit, relaxed, cozy life. But Gandalf is like, oh, it's okay. Bilbo's the equivalent of me, so, like, don't even worry about it. It's fine. You'll be fine. Just take Bilbo with you. It's like, stop putting Bilbo into danger. What is this? I kind of like that component that he just implemented. Like, Gandalf just gave Bilbo a scroll and a pen and was like, document your journey and, like, tell me about it when you're done. And it kind of is like the inspiration or the push to do the, like, red journal, where Bilbo like writes his stories down, and I really like that. That's so cute. His there and back again. Oh, the Bilbo's like narrating his journal writings, and he says, "We decided that somebody had to climb to the tallest tree and see where we were. And I couldn't argue for it not to be me because my contract and therefore my professional duties are not clear on all responsibilities." Bilbo needs HR. That's interesting. So halfway through the story, Bilbo is pontificating on if he is ever going to be home again and if he ever wants to. So he is enjoying his journey, even though it's been tumultuous and he hasn't had a lot of support. But I think that's kind of interesting, where he's like, there's some beauty in adventuring and to see things, and to, rather than to just like go back home and then go back into the cozy life. It's kind of that, like, once you know something and experience something, you can't unknow and unexperience. So him going and being on this quest, even though it's been a whole a whole crazy time, he's contemplating where he now fits in the world. And I think that just like is such a simple line but has so much depth to it. So I like that. I like this contemplative Bilbo. I hate spiders. I don't want this. I hate spiders. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want it. Ooh! Oh. It's not as bad as it could have been. I still hate it, but it's cartoony and kind of like separated enough to not be the worst. Gollum was, I think, the worst. They look silly. Okay, now that the spider has spoken, it's not spooky anymore. It's just absurd. Okay, I like that Bilbo's getting opportunities to like grow and be brave. Like, I think it was kind of, he really was just like thrown into the deep end without a paddle, but like it's cute how he's like stepping up and in his own like distinguished and polite and dignified way, he is learning to be brave and like handle absurd situations. That's kind of cool. Were they trying to like really, really, really PG this movie? Or was that just like a weird choice to have sort of a kaleidoscope situation for the spiders dying? Like, that was I don't like it. It's weird. A weird choice. Or why are they like dryads? Why are these elves different from what Elrond was? These are like giving forest. Yeah, this is like giving dryad. It's not giving elf. Why are they blue? Why are they... What? Okay, we're 45 minutes in. I'm gonna make a grand statement about the design choices for the characters. I think it was an interesting choice that the movie wanted to make all of the people characters creatures rather than people characters. Obviously, we haven't gotten to Dale yet, so I don't really... Well, we saw a little bit what the people looked like, and they looked kind of just like guys. But this movie is very much like, they're really emphasizing the creature components of the races of Middle-earth, and it's a weird... it's a weird choice. I don't particularly like it in comparison to having them just be like a race of people instead of prioritizing like a stylistic creature design. Because for me, it doesn't feel like that makes sense in terms of the context of like what elves are supposed to look like and how Tolkien was so incredibly detailed about what everything looked like, and so detailed in terms of like the history of everything. For me, in my opinion, to do that and to make these creatures look like creatures rather than look like people, and it just feels like unnecessary. I can appreciate that like they wanted to do their own creative thing with it, but like I like Tolkien, so I don't really prefer this. Also, this makes it seem like Elrond being like Elrond is like a half elf. Oh, are they trying to like say that like Elrond looks the way that he does because they definitely didn't go that deep. What I was going to say was that they made Elrond look kind of more human-ish just with elf features because he is a half elf, but there's no way that they went that deep with this concept. I don't know why the forest elves look more creature-like rather than like person-like, and I feel like it's questionable commentary. It gives less than. Why is Thranduil sort of Russian? What did they do? Why did they do this to Thranduil? They haven't even said his name. I don't even know if they could. This is insane. Okay, I'm kind of excited to see the barrel ride. I hope they did a good job. They didn't do anything fun with it. I guess they're just in the barrels. But that's a pretty shot. It's weird that they're not using Thrain's name. Thorn just like introduced himself like, I'm Thorn. I'm the descendant of the king under the mountain. I mean, does he think that the guys don't know the history of the mountain that they live right beside? Odd. These guys are okay. I don't really have any critique of them. They're just dudes. Bilbo's literally out here doing all of the hard work. And these guys are like, oh, we want to go get our gold back. We want to go home and like be rich and live under the mountain. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be king, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He's like, I already did above outside of my contractual obligations and y'all aren't even gonna come in and be like buddy system? Bilbo needs better friends. These guys are not his friends. That's insane. Shameful behavior. He's like, good luck. Disrespectful. I was so excited. Because it looked like the traditional art. Like what the original Hobbit book art cover was with like Smaug over top of the treasure hoard. The whole thing was so good, and then his face. What is that? It looks like one of the goblins. That's not my dragon. Looks like a lion dog thing? Lion dog goblin thing? Not a cool dragon. Not the I am fire, I am death dragon that Smaug is supposed to be. That's such an interesting voice choice. It's not bad. I wasn't like, ugh, recoil. But, like, he kind of just sounds tired and bored. And depending on how this goes, that might be a fun, interesting choice. But I doubt that it will be. But it could be a fun, interesting choice. Just, like, this old dragon who's, like, fed up and over it. And just, like, too tired for this nonsense, malarkey, shenanigans. Just over it. But, I don't know. He's supposed to be fearsome. Why does he sound like he's just an over-it grandfather who's, like, telling the kids to get off his lawn? But just has no energy. It's just, like, it's too, like, monotone. Why is he a cat? Is this supposed to be a particular kind of dragon? Please, somebody let me know, like, if this is a particular, like, cultural representation of a dragon, because this is not Smaug. This is a cat with a weird, there's like fur. What is happening? I don't like him. He's like, you come from the lake town, Well, you'll pay dearly for this intrusion. That's literally the line read. You'll pay dearly for this intrusion. Not anything grandiose or like an epic threatening, like, you know, just, you've disturbed my slumber. How perturbing. I'm gonna go burn down your village now. And again, that could be a fun choice, but like, not for Smaug, who's supposed to be this grand epic dragon. You're already making him a cat. This and to have him be like so like not like threatening and grand feeling and spooky, like not even spooky, but like not scary and intimidating, and like feel the magnitude of this dragon who's supposed to have like been a grand threat. It just feels like he's like a lazy cat. So I'd be intimidated by all of the things that he listed. His talons are swords, and his teeth are spears, and etc. And his wings are gales of gonna blow you away forever and always. But like, he's as threatening as a kitten. So for him to be like the grand finale, the BBEG villain, like, the goblins were better. Which is like crazy to say, but he's kind of anticlimactic. Why would he do that? That's so stupid. Like, Bilbo was being so smart. Why would he, one, reveal who he was, and two, literally give Smaug the opportunity, what he's doing right now, to like burn him alive? Why would he take off his ring and announce that he was a burglar? Like, Smaug's whole thing about like revealing that he has that one weakness, like that Bilbo's able to see his one weakness, is because he's overly confident and his hubris is his downfall. Bilbo has no such character trait, so for him to be like, oh, like, you need to be smarter to catch an expert burglar, and then to like remove the ring to like put himself in danger, is just so outside of the realm of who Bilbo is. And that was a very stupid choice. For what? Unnecessary. Having the thrush go is like very cartoon magic. I think that's kind of an interesting plot choice. Why not? Why not? And this is a really, you know, it's a pretty scene. Bard is now a Disney princess. He can speak to animals. And he has extreme keen eye vision to be able to see a dragon who's hundreds of feet in the air. A teeny tiny little spot of his scales is missing. Well, that was resolved quickly. And he's not wearing pants. We're back to this now. Why are we here? I can see the Spartan gladiator armor energy happening here. However, this was my complaint in The Lord of the Rings 1978, and it will be my complaint in The Hobbit 1977. Where are his pants? Questionable. Oh look, it's the Russian, Transylvanian, German Thranduil, not actually elf-looking forest dryad guy, who's also not wearing pants. They are wearing pants. That is appropriate battle attire. Yeah, bro, this is actually insane. Thorin is so, like, the problem here, the big problem here, is that in the live action Hobbit, though I have a lot of opinions about that one also, and there's a lot of problems with it, and I don't think it needed to be 3 movies, but at least within that, they had time to develop relationships with Bilbo and Thorin and a bunch of the other dwarves, like particularly Boffer and Balin. He had time to actually have relations with the characters. Now Thorin is just being mean to him, being like, you don't even know anything, you're being a coward, you don't know anything about the matters of war and like the matters of principle with our golden stuff. And Bilbo's like, bro, I literally saved you already like 3 times, once with the trolls, once with the spiders, and once with those forest, I'm not gonna call them elves, they're like dryad creatures, and now you're gonna be mean to me and call me a coward for not wanting to fight in this war that's stupid and based on your own greed? Like, he's not a redeemable, like, they haven't developed enough of a relationship with him or shown any positive qualities for this character to have me, like, obviously he dies in the end, like, that's part of the book. Him, Philly Killian, I can't remember the 4th dwarf that passes away in the battle, but, like, how am I supposed to care? He's been nothing but just an actual asshole to Bilbo this whole time. There hasn't been any, like, opportunities for him to be developing a relationship or have, like, why is he so awful? And there's nothing for him here. Like, that's not Bilbo's friend. That just is it's so disparaging that he, like, doesn't get any time within this movie to develop relationships with the dwarves, because, like, it's all just things happening to Bilbo. He's going through his own, like, self-actualization and coming into his own power kind of thing, which is great, but, like, these are not his friends, and that's really sad, because it should be a better articulated ensemble. What a mess. Me too, Bilbo. Personally, I'd rather be back in Hobbiton other than dealing with this malarkey and nonsense for nothing. Nothing and no reason. Well, all of the turmoil and all of the animosity has just dwindled now because they share a common enemy. And now they are truest friends and dearest brothers and most steadfast allies. Because why not? We're rapid firing this ending, I guess. Good job, Bilbo. He's just getting out of there. Like, there's... Same, bro. Gandalf's arm got broken? Okay. Also, it was Bomber who died, also. So, Thorn, Philly, Killy, Bomber. Don't care. They didn't give me the opportunity to care. But this is so weird. Why is Gandalf's arm broken? That's so random. Oh, he was just a part in friendship. This is giving the BoJack Horseman of, like, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I don't forgive you. Bilbo should not forgive him. He was such an asshole the entire time that they were traveling together. There was no personal connection being built throughout this entire movie. And, yeah, this is what your greed has resulted in. So, goodbye, Thorin. Yeah, now he's trying to be nice. Now that he's on death's door, he's trying to be nice. But he wasn't nice literally the entire time that he was, like, coercing Bilbo into going on this journey in the first place. And also making him do all of the hardest, dirtiest work without any support from anybody else. And there's literally 13 other people who are on this journey. And he's having to do all of the hard, dangerous work. But yeah, okay, now he wants a part in friendship. Yeah, okay, sure. Ridiculous. Yes, I do like that. Doing the Tolkien quote of, if we valued food and cheer and good company over hoarding gold and whatever, it would be a merrier world. Yes, I love that they're ending on that lesson. However, it falls so short having it be Thorin, who literally was the worst up until literally now. So, no. Beautiful. I would also be so pleased and excited to go back here and be done with the malarkey and get cozy with his book and his armchair and a nice cup of tea. Beautiful. And this drawing is stunning. I love it. Very pleased. And his little red book is there and back again. I love the book. I actually kind of want to get it tattooed, like have the Peter Jackson red book and have there and back again on my leg, because I just think it's so cute. I love Lord of the Rings tattoos, and it just adventure. It's so cute. I love he's got his little book. Oh, he's there back again. Well, I am shocked and pleased for the most part that I enjoyed that. That was quite a fun little adventure. I think the pacing was bad. I think that the transitions of scenes were disjointed and odd, and there was no time for interpersonal character development or dynamics. Bilbo was the only one who got to, like, grow and be self-actualized in any sort of, like, meaningful way. But, like, this was fun, and it was cute, and I actually liked the art style for the most part, at least the backgrounds and all of the, like, inanimate components. The characters, not so much. But everything else, like, this was actually very fun, and I am pleasantly surprised. So, yeah, this was way better. I don't think this is going to be in my, like, annual watch rotation. I think I'm going to stick with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings, and, I mean, I have thoughts on the Peter Jackson Hobbit. I think it was unnecessary to be 3 films, and I think that they expanded it thusly for financial gain, mostly, rather than, like, storytelling need, so I don't particularly enjoy that. But yeah, this was a good, concise, well articulated story. Yeah, some things were like missing and it was a little bit rushed in certain parts and kind of weird, but overall, yeah, this was good. So delightful. I would give it like a 2.5 out of 5. It's not horrible, but it's not something that I will continuously engage with. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed this. Well, good. I'm leaving pleasantly surprised and relatively pleased with the experience, which is so much more than I can say for when I watched the Lord of the Rings 1978, because that was just a travesty. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you all so much for watching Everything with Love, and we'll see you next time in the Treasure Trove. Bye.